Hi everyone. My name is Richraj. So, welcome to you all here. So today we have Suraj, and he'll be going to talk about like micro front end. Like इसमें बेसिकली बात करी जाए तो एक स्केलेबल वेब एप्लीकेशन होती है जैसे जीमेल है, ट्विटर है या फिर लिंक्डइन है या फिर बहुत बड़ी बड़ी जो एप्लीकेशन है उसमें क्या होता है कि छोटे छोटे सेक्शन होते हैं वो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टेक स्टैक के बने हुए होते हैं कि जैसे कि जीमेल का मान लेते हैं कि चैट सेक्शन इट विल बी ऑन एंगुलर और मे बी मेन स्क्रीन है जो आपकी रियू पे दिखेगी या फिर रिएक्ट पे दिखेगी। तो वो जो लार्ज स्केल कंपनीज होती है, बड़ी जो प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं, वो कैसे स्केलेबल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए जाते हैं, वो सारा पार्ट आज सूरज कवर करेगा। एंड ही हैज अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ बिल्डिंग अ माइक्रो फ्रंट एंड यूआई लाइब्रेरीज, जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड यूआई सिस्टम होते हैं, जो SaaS एप्लीकेशन बनाते हैं कंज्यूमर एंड प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए। सो या दैट्स ऑल। सो ओवर टू यू सूरज।
Okay. So today we are just going to talk about the front-end applications, right? Okay. So before starting, let's discuss one thing. How many of you heard about microservices in backend? Actually, I'm sharing my screen, so I can't see your. Uh, just give a second. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So simply, if we use the term micro means small or a smaller unit. Like um, a macro. You are already aware of this. Like microscope is used to see a smaller animals or smaller bacteria, viruses. So micro is just a small chunk of anything. Okay. So if we go to the era of 1995 or 1996 when the web was evolving, we have seen web 1, web 2, and then the current era of AI and all, whatever web 3, blockchain and all is whatever is happening. So, but if we go through the evolution, we can see like firstly we used to have a static website, then we have some dynamic interactions, then the era of server side applications like PHP and all was there, then Angular JS and Backbone JS kind of thing was there, where Java, basically the time when the JavaScript framework actually started evolving, right? And then we have jQuery and other frameworks. So basically, over the time, like uh, from 2005 to 2024, for a lot of things has been changed. But what actually happens is like let's suppose you are building Flipkart, right? So the first day you built the login page, the application was smaller, and you continuously keep on adding features, and the application kept on growing and growing, right? Now let's see here. Now let's suppose you are a owner of a company and you are leading, or not a owner of a company, you are a, you can say, engineering manager of a company, and you lead the whole team. And let's suppose your application was built with React, and you keep on building, and at a point, what will happen? You only have a React developers. Your team is only skilled in React, and let's suppose it got difficult for you to hire React developers. Either they are asking for more salary or no more React developers are available. So uh, in that case, it becomes a bottleneck, right? If your front end is built with one single technology and uh, in a single application or a single repo or a single project, we can say. So basically, front end keeps on growing, and it generally becomes a front end monolith, like or a thousand of components, hundred of pages in a single project. So a micro front end is simply like smaller front ends, or you can say micro front end, microservice in front end. There are various questions around this, like why it is called micro front end, why it is invented, and something like this. So don't get into that. So see, basically, micro front end it means like you have to slice the front end application into smaller chunks. Simple, and there are various ways to do this, but the simple funda is this, like the application should be divided into smaller chunks, and they can be managed by independent teams, and they can be deployed independently, right? So now let's go to simple. Okay, this is done. This is done. It doesn't make sense. So this is a general application. This is the how a general application look like in today's world. Like you can see in backend, there are multiple microservices. They are connected via API gateway, and frontend is consuming it. So this is the typical scenario, how it is going to do this. Now, what will happen in frontend micro frontend thing? Let's suppose you have you have four team. Like let's suppose example of if e-commerce store. Like there is a separate team to manage search, there is a separate team to manage the checkout page, there is a separate team to manage the cart, there are separate team to handle the recommendation section in the page or the product detail page, right? So generally why we are doing this, generally in our application, it may seems like it is very simple, but inside and under the hood it keep on growing and it keep on getting complex day by day. To get rid of that complexity and to make everything in isolation, like if you have heard about single responsibility principle and all, so we just want to segregate the responsibility of every part of the application into a separate independent front end application or a front end module. That's the thing here. So let's go through this example. Like if we have four team inspire, search, decide, and checkout, right? And now see what will happen. So one team is responsible for doing one thing only. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, so one team is responsible for doing one thing, implementing one feature only. Or so what is actually going to happen over here is like let's suppose team search is doing something, then they will deploy it independently. Like let's suppose xyz.com/search, the front end will be deployed here. Similarly, what say xyz.com/checkout, the separate front end will be deployed here, right? So this is the general scenario where how it works. On a very, if I say in a brief, small, what I can say, if the shortest definition is like this only, like this only. And now let's come to why micro front end. So as I said, all the different part of the application are handled by different teams and they can be deployed independently. There is no dependency on each other and they can be managed separately. The development speed increases because there is no dependency. I already talked about this, like a smaller autonomous team with a clear mission, like this team is responsible for doing this team is doing responsible for doing this. Uh, no need to there. And yes, of course, a reduced scope means every team has a limited scope and they are focused on building a smaller feature instead of building a broader or big feature. Uh, 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 uh. Now let's see. This is a good example that I was talking about. A page is owned by one team. Let's suppose there is one home page, product list, product detail, basket, success. And now you can see there are these two pages are handled by team inspire, product detail pages is handled by team decide, and basket and success is handled by team checkout. Right. And similarly, now you can see here. This is a you can say e-commerce website for selling tractors. Here you can see there are different color boundaries. Like you can see the checkout part, like buy button and the basket button is handled by team checkout, and the whole page, whole container page is handled by team decide here, and this record related product is handled by team inspire. Now, okay. Till now, any confusion like why, what is micro front end, why we are doing this? Okay, now coming back to some, yeah, someone is about to speak something.
No, no, I was just about to say, like, no confusion till now. I clearly
Okay,
understood what it is.
okay. So now let's let's have some theoretical part, right? So if we go through the definition, like what is micro front end and other things like. The simple definition is technique, strategies, and recipes for building modern web app with multiple teams that can ship feature independently. This word is very important. Independently, right? So basically, in micro front-end system, what happens? Let's suppose Nishant is quite good in React. He will build his system in React. Let's suppose Varun is quite good in Angular. He will build his feature in Angular, and they both of the feature will be integrated together because they are independently deployed in a URL. And let's see how it is going to be. So basically, micro frontend is a quite new thing. It is just 8 year old, not much older. And if we talk about the idea behind micro frontend is to think about a website or web app as a composition of features which are owned by independent teams. Each team has a distinct area of business mission. It cares about yeah, each team cares about its own feature only. A team has cross-functional and develop its feature end-to-end from database to user interface. So basically, the complete isolation of a feature is with complete one team. This is what it means. Okay. So that this is what we are talking about, like team inspire, team search, and all. So they have a separate mission, like help the customer to discover product. Team search quickly find the right product. Team product present a product, and team checkout provide a good checkout experience. So if we talk about business unit of each team, they have a clear, concise goal that what you have to do. So this is the way we are. This is the thing we talked about isolated teams. So now, no, 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 no. This is so core idea. Yeah, this is the important part. Like understanding micro front end and why it is required is sometimes confusing and become quite frustrating. That if we have React, Angular, X, Y, Z, then why we need this? So the first thing is be technology agnostic. So the example I told you in starting, like if a application is only built with React, then it has to only look for React developers. It can't hire Vue developers, it can't hire Angular developers, it can't hire several developers. To get rid of that, micro frontend can help you with this thing. Like you can build your application in any technology. If you have a developer who knows Angular, build application in Angular, integrate it into the main application. So this is the one of the benefit of micro frontend. The second thing is isolated team code. Like every team should have their separate code, and they are not going to interact with each other directly, or even they don't rely on shared state or a single shared state managers kind of thing. Every app is independent in itself, and they can be managed independently, and there are ways that the data is shared into all the applications. We will talk about that after some time, but the core thing is they like the team is isolated, the code is isolated it on its own. Establish team prefix. So now this is the interesting thing. Let's suppose in your application there are four isolated applications which are integrated, and let's suppose two application have same CSS class name, like dot red, and in one of the application dot red actually changed the background color. In other application dot red actually changed the font color. So basically it will create a conflict over here. Like the CSS of this application will be applied to that application, and CSS of that application will be applied to that application. So this kind of conflict can happen. So generally, in that case, we generally have to every team has a prefix. Like let's suppose what say uh, 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 let's suppose Inspire, the team Inspire is will always use insp underscore anything in every class name of CSS in and every class name of JavaScript. Yes. Favor native browser feature over custom APIs. Can anyone explain this? Try to explain this. What this point means. This is one of the most important point that is actually required in micro front-end system. Anyone? Anyone? Yes, yes. So see, I hope you guys have used React, any framework or any library, right? So generally, what happens? Let's suppose you are using React and you are using Redux as a state manager. Generally, Redux or the libraries are designed in such a way that it can only handle one application. But in our case, there are various applications. So sharing data between each of the applications is going to be really tedious. But if they are loaded in a single browser window, then of course they can communicate with the browser window, the tab in which all the applications are loaded. So that thing it is actually going to talk about, like you should use browser native capabilities to communicate with between this separate independent application instead of using a third party library or some other stuff. And the other thing is like the application should be resilient enough that if something goes wrong, it should be handled properly or it should fail gracefully. Here you can see this is a confusing as well as important point. It is related to this one only, favor native browser feature. So I hope many of you have used some library or SDK kind of thing. And let's suppose you are using moment.js for manipulating date, right? So there is something like date dot get time, date dot xyz. Different functions are provided by that SDK, or you can say a API is provided by that SDK. So generally, what happens in case of what say micro frontend, as we talked about, we should only most try to use native browser features. So at last, everything inside the browser is rendered inside DOM only. Is whatever it is like. Oh, what happened? Something is happening. Okay. 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 So generally, custom elements. How many of you heard about web components? Okay. No issues. Let me explain it fast. So web components are, if you have heard about HTML elements like image tag, button tag, and what are the other tags? Yeah, H1 LIUL. So similarly, you can make your own tags. You can see order mini cart. So these are called web component or custom elements, and these are very new capabilities of web browser. So basically, what it is like, you can build a feature, publish it as a web component or a JS file, include it into the application, and you can use it this way, like your own HTML tags. So the DOM specification of this particular element is like tag element, attributes, and event. So see, if there is a parent application, right? So what we need? We need attribute to pass data into inside this element. To pass data from this element to its parent element, we need event, and tag name is this only order mini card to render this element. So this is a very simple concept. Like if you want to implement micro front end or sorry micro front end with web components, this is simple thing, right? Uh, 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 um. And there are various ways you can implement micro front end. It is not only like you can implement part by part. You can do like you can build one page in React, one page is in Angular, one page in Vue. However you are feasible. However it is feasible for you. It is not like you should build this on this way or that way. Yeah. So that page composition talk about that only. Okay. 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 So basically, you can see this all marked areas like red, the red boundary is owned by team product. So it is a wrapper application. Inside this, you can see this blue border. This is a separate components or web components, or you can say a separate web application built by team checkout. Similarly, this inspire part, team inspire is handling this one. So this is the general fundamental. Like we in micro front end, we break the application into multiple independent parts. Simple, not much complex. If you keep this in mind, it is going to work. So this is about. I'm not going to talk about how to create a custom element. It is quite easier. Basically, you can see we are building a class which extend HTML element, and whatever we want to render as HTML, we can pass over here, and it will do the things for you. Uh, 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 uh. These are some of the things that we really don't want. So now let's come to some examples. Oh, no, no, not examples. So now see, there are various ways we can implement micro front-end application. The first thing is you can implement page by page. Like page one is a separate micro application, page two is a separate micro front-end. The other thing is like you can implement with iframes. Like let's suppose, I hope everyone heard about iframe. So we can there if there are four sections in a web page, you can render it inside four different iframes and integrate it together in one page. The second thing is like there are various ways I can do one thing. I can share this link with you if you want to explore more. You can explore. Uh, these are various strategies. The micro front end is not a technology, you can say. This is just a strategy kind of thing, like how you can break the application into uh, smaller chunks. So you can see this client side composition, the custom element part we just discussed. So this is one of the way. The other thing is like app shell wala model. There are framework around this as well to build a micro front end. We'll show you just now after this. So these are some of the strategies you can use to build micro front end application. So let me show you one application. It will be good example for you. Just a second. Give me a second. Tractor store. Yes. Yeah, just one. Let me show you the live demo. So this is the application we have. Like it is a store for selling tractors and all. Machines store and all, right? So now and there is a cart as well. And what we are going to do is, so basically if we want to build this application with one single framework, it will work, it will totally work. But again, we are logged in into vendor, like if you are using React, then you have to build with React only. So now let me show you team boundaries. So you can see now there are some markup around this. Like the whole explore page is handled by team explore. The checkout button is handled by this checkout team. The recommendation part is handled by explore team, and this footer is handled by explore team. Similarly, if we go to store, you can see this different teams are handling different part of the application. And if I go to checkout, no checkout, let me go to a product detail page. So yeah, just a second. See here in this page, the whole application, the shell of this application is this page is handled by team decide. The green boundary, whole page is inside a green boundary, and this different small parts are actually developed by small teams, and they are integrated together by team decide. Similarly, if I go to add to basket, so this way you, yeah, let me share you the link of this as well. This is a good this is a good example of micro front-end applications. Uh, now back to again. A tractor store. So these are some of the what say are where it is. This page actually gives you implementation of micro front-end in various different technologies. And the thing is that like the technology is evolving day by day, and there are a few things like you can explore is like let me show you like. Webpack Module Federation. You can also build micro frontend with Webpack as well. Like bundler will automatically build different what's a different bundle for each of the components or page you are building. So of course, let me share this as well for you. So the concept is same only. Like you can see here, one of the application is built with React, one with Angular, one with Next.js, and at last they are combined together into into a single application, and they can run independently, can be deployed independently. One other framework for building micro frontend is called Single SPA. So this is one of the framework you can use to build single page application using micro frontends. Like your application will be deployed to will be built separately, but this single spa will do the integration part for you. The routing will be handled by single spa. The data sharing can be handled by single spa. So you can also explore this if you want to explore more about single micro frontends, where it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any message? Okay. So the thing is this: ki the fundamental principle of building micro frontend is so you have to again the core principle is this only. Where it is, where it is, where it is, where it is. Yeah. Core idea in micro behind micro frontend. Y- Your application should be technology agnostic. Remember this. You don't specifically need to search for Angular developer or Vue developer. You just have to search for JavaScript or front-end developer. Whatever technology they know, they should come develop in that technology that will work for us. The second thing is isolated team code. So we want every team should be isolated in itself. So that's the thing over here. So it is not a, and now the thing is just key. As a human we are biased, like someone loves React, then they will only love React. If someone love Angular, they will only love Angular. Someone loves Vue, they will only love Vue, just like Brijraj Singh. So the thing is this ki we uh, as a developer we love one technology, but as a business, let's suppose you are running a business or a SaaS company or a product company, you really don't care like in which technology your application is built. If that application is generating money for you, I don't care about what technology has been used, right? And this actually happens in industry. So if any one of you, so if any one of you are interested in proposing this kind of architecture in your company, if you are joining an early age startup, or if this can be only possible in early age startups or a company which is really good with their finance, because in micro front end applications uh, people are not very comfortable because the thing is initially they are not very comfortable because the thing can be complicated for them, like they are only interested in one technology and things can be written in various technologies. But the thing is this: the benefit it gives you is really much more than what a single technology application will give you, right? So the thing is this: if you want to explore more, you can explore that by yourself. Like there are infinite possibilities of building application with this approach. Like you can do any way you want. Like you can slice the application any way you want. It is not like there is one right way or one wrong way. Whatever way works for you, just do it. It will work. But the thing is like again it should adhere to its core principle where yeah this principles and if your application is adhering to this core principle it is going to be really beneficial for you because your development time is going to be quite less and of course what say disaster recovery is also going to be very fast. If suppose there is a bug in one application, then you can revert the code of one application only instead of reverting the whole code. So these are some of the benefit of micro front-end application that you can explore and start building with it. कभी तुमने ऐसा स्टेटमेंट देखा है HTML में कमेंट हैश इंक्लूड करके
नहीं,
ये क्या होता है
ये तो कमेंट हुआ मतलब ऐसे जहाँ।
यही एक ये ना एक अलग सा सिंटेक्स है जहां पे
ठीक।
तुम्हें अगर सर्वर से कुछ इंक्लूड करना है ना तुम
हम्म।
ऐसे इंक्लूड कर सकते हो वर्चुअल इक्वल टू और क्या पाथ से क्या इंक्लूड करना है तो लेट सपोज इसका यहाँ पे ना एनजिनिक्स कॉन्फ़िगरेशन दिया हुआ कहीं पे एक मिनट को नहीं दिया हुआ है ठीक है कोई नहीं तो जनरली क्या है कि लेट सपोज तुम्हारे पास एक एनजिनिक्स सर्वर है ठीक है
हम्म।
जहां पे तुमने सेटअप कर रखा है कि जब ये राउट आएगा ना तो वो वाला HTML फाइल सर्व करना जो तुम्हारा एप्लीकेशन का तुमने अलग से बना रखा है
ओके, अच्छा ये
जैसे मैंने
HTML में भी कर सकते।
हाँ 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 मतलब ये देखो ये डॉट HTML नहीं लिखा हुआ है ना तो
हाँ।
जनरली जब तुम Nginx से सर्वर बनाते हो तो तुम वहां
हम्म।
से HTML फाइल को सर्व कर सकते हो जावा स्क्रिप्ट फाइल को सर्व कर सकते हो ठीक है
हम्म।
तो ये वही है कि जब भी तुम्हारा अगर ऐसा सिंटेक्स मिल गया इसे हैश इंक्लूड कमेंट के अंदर और उस पे
हाँ।
जो पाथ होगा ये उसको उठा के लाएगा सर्वर से और यहाँ पे इंसर्ट कर देगा
ओके, ठीक
हाँ
है
तो इस
ठीक।
तरह की कुछ चीजें हैं जो हम लोगों को जनरली यूज करते नहीं है लेकिन ये चीजें एग्जिस्ट करती हैं अभी ये टेक्नोलॉजी अभी ग्रो ही कर रहा है माइक्रो फ्रंट एंड ऑल ये तो 8 साल पुराना है ही तो ज्यादा अभी इसमें लोग अडॉप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं जैसे रेजर पे वगैरह थोड़ा मोड़ा किया है जो तुमने
हम्म।
देखा होगा रेजर पे का वो पॉपअप आता है कि चेकआउट वाला पॉपअप बस
अच्छा, मतलब ऐसा देखे तो नहीं है।
मतलब तुम कहीं पेमेंट करते होगे ना रेजर पे का अगर वो
हाँ।
ठीक है तो वो एक इंडिपेंडेंटली डिप्लॉयड एप्लीकेशन है ऐसा नहीं कि वो कुछ अलग से दिया हुआ है वो एप्लीकेशन ही इंडिपेंडेंट है उतने से पार्ट के लिए
Yeah. So thank you so much, Suraj, and see you soon, everyone.